Want to know a secret to happy relationships?
Okay, I'm listening.
It's not about those big romantic gestures.
Really?
No, not at all,
Right,
actually.
interesting.
Yeah, it's more about just 6 simple phrases.
6 phrases.
Yeah, 6 phrases. We're diving into the CNBC article,
Okay.
and basically it says these phrases can make a big difference for couples.
Interesting. So just like how you talk to each other.
Exactly. Exactly. And the best part is,
What's that?
it's all based on actual research, not just like feel-good fluff.
So it's like evidence-based.
Totally. These aren't just nice sounding words.
Yeah.
These are strategies that therapists use and recommend.
That makes a lot of sense. Couples therapy often focuses on communication, right?
Exactly. The article even uses this term,
What's that?
over-communication.
Over-communication. I don't know if I love the sound of that.
I know, right? It sounds kind of intense.
Yeah, like you're always talking at each other.
Right. But it's not actually what you think. It's not like never shutting up.
So what is it then?
It's about being intentional,
Okay.
making sure you're really communicating those things you appreciate.
Like expressing gratitude and stuff.
Exactly. And empathy, too.
Makes sense. Maybe I'll use a little more of that.
Totally. And even like those needs that are sometimes harder to talk about.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, so it's not just like chit chat all the time. It's about making sure those important things are actually heard.
It's like being mindful about what you're saying and how you're saying it.
Yes.
I can see how that would be huge in a relationship. Because sometimes what we think is obvious totally isn't to the other person.
You know what I'm thinking about? Those arguments that start really small.
Ugh, yeah, I know those.
And then suddenly it's like,
World War III.
exactly. I feel like often that happens because we weren't being clear about those little things.
You let them fester, and then boom.
Yes. And that's where these 6 phrases come in.
Okay, so these phrases are like tools to use in those moments.
It can be. So phrase number 1. I'm going to tell you something that may be upsetting to hear.
Whoa, that's direct. Kind of sounds like you're starting a fight, not preventing one.
It does sound like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, like you're about to drop a bomb.
But what's important here is honesty.
Honesty's always good, right?
Right. Even if it's a little awkward sometimes.
I can see that. Like sometimes the truth hurts, but it's better than hiding things.
Exactly. But the article emphasizes being tactful about it.
Okay, so how do you actually use this phrase without freaking your partner out?
Let me think. Okay, imagine you're feeling weird about something your partner shared with someone else.
Okay, I'm following you.
So instead of keeping it all bottled up, you could say something like, hey, I need to talk about something that's been on my mind and it might be a bit sensitive.
Okay, so you're giving them a heads up, but not being accusatory.
Exactly. It's about wanting to understand, not just coming at them with blame.
That's a good distinction,
Mm-hmm.
because no one wants to feel attacked.
Exactly.
It seems like setting that tone from the beginning can make a big difference.
Yeah, you're creating that safe space for dialogue.
I like that. Okay, so what's phrase number 2? This all sounds really interesting. Yeah, give me number 2.
Okay, so this one is all about being vulnerable.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It's I need your support right now.
That's interesting. So it's like directly asking for what you need
Yeah.
instead of hoping they'll just, like, no.
Yes, exactly. And it can be hard to do.
Yeah, for sure. Especially in the middle of an argument.
Right. Because when you're in that fight or flight mode.
Totally. You just want to defend yourself, you know?
Yeah. But the article, it actually talks about this research from the Gottmans.
The relationship gurus, right?
Right. And they found that vulnerability during conflict
Yeah.
is actually really, really important for couples.
That does make sense.
Yeah.
Like showing your partner that you need them even when things are tough.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be a big, long thing either.
Yeah.
The article gave examples like, can I have a hug? Or even just, I need your support right now.
Sometimes a hug is all you need, right?
Totally.
It's like a reset button.
Yes. It's that reminder that you're on the same team.
Which is so important to remember because when you're in it, it can really feel like...
If you're against each other.
Totally.
Right, exactly.
Okay, I like that one. What's next?
Okay, so phrase number 3 is all about acknowledging those feelings.
Okay, whose feelings?
Yeah.
Like both people.
Well, it's about acknowledging your partner's feelings.
Okay, got it. Even if you don't agree with them.
Yes, that's the key here.
Oh, okay.
So the phrase is, it's understandable you feel that way.
So you don't have to agree with why they're upset, but you're letting them know you get it.
Yes, exactly. And that validation, even if you see things totally differently,
Right.
it can be huge.
That makes sense. It's about showing empathy, right?
Exactly. It's saying, hey, I might not be experiencing this the same way you are,
Yeah.
but I hear you, and your feelings are valid.
Yeah, because sometimes just feeling heard is enough to dial down the tension, you know?
Totally, totally. And when you both feel heard and understood, well, I think it opens up space to actually work through the issue, you
It's
know?
like you're creating a foundation of respect.
Exactly. And speaking of different
Oh,
perspectives,
you're going to the next phrase. Okay, I'm ready.
okay, this one is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
It's, I never thought of things that way.
Oh, I like that one. It's like admitting you don't have all the answers,
Yes, and you're open to seeing things from their side, even if it's totally different from yours.
which can be tough, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you're convinced you're right.
Oh, tell me about it. I remember this one time my partner and I were arguing about,
Don't leave me hanging. What were you arguing about?
honestly, I can't even remember the details now.
Okay, but it was heated.
Totally. But I just remember feeling so sure I was in the right.
Right.
And then they said something and it was like this light bulb went off.
Really?
Yeah. And I just remember saying, wow, I never even thought of it that way before.
So you're saying this phrase can help you actually see the other person's side?
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. Because sometimes you just get stuck in your own head, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And you need that other perspective to kind of shake things up.
To break you out of your own echo chamber.
Yes. Exactly. That's a great way to put it.
So you're acknowledging that your partner's perspective has value, even if it's different from yours.
Yeah, exactly. And it goes back to that idea from the Gottmans.
Oh, the getting to
yes. It's not about one person being right or winning the argument.
It's about finding a compromise that works for both people.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. You're a team, remember.
Right, right. Okay, what's next? We're on a roll here.
Okay, so the next phrase is all about taking responsibility.
Ooh, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Especially after a fight.
It can be tough, but it's so important.
Yeah.
The phrase is, I'm sorry for the part I've played in this.
Wow, so it's not just saying, I'm sorry. It's acknowledging that you had a role in what happened.
Yes, exactly. Because even if you don't feel like you were totally in the wrong, you can usually find something you could have done differently, you know?
Like maybe you didn't start the argument, but you said something that escalated it.
Exactly. Or maybe your tone was off, or you weren't really listening.
Yeah, I've definitely been there.
And when you can own up to those things,
What happens?
it creates space for your partner to do the same.
Oh, so it's like a model for them to follow.
Exactly. You're showing them that it's safe to be vulnerable and admit their mistakes too.
And that can lead to a more genuine apology from them, right?
Exactly.
Because it's not a one-way street.
It shouldn't be. It takes two to tango, as they say.
Okay, I'm ready for the final phrase.
Okay, so this one is all about moving forward together.
So you've acknowledged each other's feelings, taken responsibility, and now you need to.
Find a solution.
Makes sense.
The phrase is, let's find a solution.
I like that. It's action-oriented.
It is. It's not just dwelling on the problem.
Yeah, it's about being proactive. Like, okay, we had a disagreement. Now what are we going to do about
Yeah,
it?
what's up? And doing it together.
As a team.
Exactly. And you know what I thought was really interesting?
What's that?
The article pointed out this doesn't have to be just for problems within the relationship itself. It could be anything your partner's going through.
Okay, I'm listening.
Like maybe they're struggling with something at work,
Yeah.
and you can still use this phrase and be like, hey, let's try to find a solution together.
It's that same collaborative spirit, but applied to other areas of your lives.
Yes. Because when you know your partner has your back,
Yeah.
no matter what.
It makes those challenges a little bit easier to face.
Exactly. So we've covered a lot of ground.
We really have. Those phrases are sticking with me.
Yeah, they're pretty powerful, right?
They are. I'm already thinking about how I can use them, not even just with my partner.
Exactly. And that's what I love about them.
What's that?
It's not just about romantic relationships, you know?
Yeah, like you were saying earlier.
They can apply to so many different areas of our lives.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like imagine having to have a tough conversation with a coworker or something.
Right. Or even with family.
Yeah, those can be tricky.
The worst. But if you think about it, those
Yeah.
same principles of being honest and empathetic
Right.
and wanting to find solutions together,
Yeah.
those are valuable no matter who you're talking to.
They really are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you said earlier, a toolkit for better communication overall.
Exactly.
And who couldn't use a little more of that, honestly?
Right. So dip divers, as we wrap things up today, here's something I want you to think about.
Okay, I'm all ears.
If these 6 phrases can have such a big impact on our romantic relationships,
Yeah.
what other areas of your life could benefit from a little more understanding, a little more empathy,
I like that.
and that willingness to find solutions together? Until next time, happy diving.